everybody, on this late night edition of Loud Majority Live as Donald Trump gets ready for his first address to Congress. We are going to be bringing you that, guys, live at the top of the hour. As a matter of fact, I think the boss is getting ready to leave.
Stay on this in lieu of going to commercial break. Let's listen.
Here he is.
There's Elon Musk.
And, of course, is Donald Trump departing the White House, headed over to Capitol Hill for the joint address tonight in Congress, which we are going to bring all of you guys live at the top of the hour. For those of you who don't know who I am, if you're used to watching Jeremy's show, my name is Kevin Smith. I am the host of LFA TV here, 1 p.m. Eastern, every single day. We're going to be rocking and rolling here for the next 25 minutes or so as we keep moving and grooving along. What are we going to see today? What are we going to see? Is there going to be a calamity in the House? What is going to happen? There's going to be a lot happening. Apparently, there are a lot of protests planned with Democratic reps apparently bringing in cartons of eggs to try to make some sort of statement about egg prices, even though it was the last guy's fault because he had like a couple 100 million chickens culled. But that's not really the point. Apparently, they're going to bring in those little hand clappers that you give to small children on the 4th of July just to make a bunch of noise. What else should we be expecting? Well, Donald Trump has planned to invite the families of illegal immigrant crime into the chamber this evening, while Democratic reps apparently have planned on inviting laid-off federal workers, which, I gotta be honest, I mean, I guess I feel bad for them, but I guess I really don't, because, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? Turns out just because the government creates a job doesn't mean you, for some reason, deserve it. But Democrats have found their way to take the 80-20 issue on absolutely everything. Democrats have found their way to taking the 20% issue of everything. Of everything. Up, down, left ways, and sideways, Democrats find themselves on the most unpopular positions known to man. What else should we expect tonight? Obviously, there's going to be news on the mineral deal in Ukraine. Donald Trump, I'm sure, will address inflation. I'm sure he will address the closed border. If he's really good, he'll bring up the fact that every single Democratic senator voted to keep men in women's sports yesterday. That's going to be coming at the top of the hour. The president left the White House about 5 minutes ago, headed over to Capitol Hill. So it looks like they're going to be just about on time. Before we get rocking, before we get rolling here today, guys, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, wherever it is you may be watching. Make sure you are following the page, as always, here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, I have to make sure I say hello to Joey DeLeo on Facebook, because if I don't, he's going to send me 400 text messages about how I didn't take time out of the show to personally say hello to him, because apparently he thinks it's his show. So let's keep on moving and grooving here. We're going to pop the live chat up onto the screen. I want to say hello to everybody who may be new to me. Once again, my name is Kevin Smith. I host the 1 o'clock hour here on LFA TV. Just following Jeremy's show, we're going to be keeping it locked in here throughout the night with a quick commentary for the first 20 minutes or so. Donald Trump, obviously we are awaiting him to speak outside at Capitol Hill for his first joint session of Congress. Shout out to everybody, guys. Chat, let me know. Do me a favor. Let me know whose first time it is watching tonight. You guys know I always like to see who the first timers are here on my show. So let me know in the chat if it is in fact your first time watching me. Let me know what you think. I mean, I even shaved for you guys tonight. Even shaved for you guys. What's up, Redneck? How are you? AC Knight, what's happening? Bobby Driver, hello, hello. Denise, Natalie, as always, hello. Shout out from Nebraska. I'm actually going to be, I think I'm going to be in Nebraska very soon. I am friends with the Omaha Young Republicans chairwoman, Haley McAnally. She's really good. She's really good. M2, we know it's not your first time. Looking good. Thank you very much, Denise. Not first time, but rarely watch you live, says Sharon from Texas. Well, very good. Very good. I'm happy that you guys are here now. Once again, guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. A quick message from Jeremy.
How you doing, everybody? Jeremy Harrell here, LFA TV. Look, you all know that we're powered by the people, and we're always looking for, partnerships, sponsors, but ones that last for a really long time. And since I'm in the Midwest again, Chicago Steaks and I have been in conversation about them becoming a partner here at LFA TV for only top-notch USDA prime-cut, grass-fed Midwest beef and other amazing things like Maine lobsters and things like that. But Chicago Steak Company, folks, they sent me this. It comes in a styrofoam in order to keep everything frozen. And it comes then in a beautiful black box, which we get the likes of this top-notch USDA filet mignon, which we're going to cook here in a little bit. We cooked the ribeye steaks the other night, and I got to tell you, when you order from Chicago Steak Company, you don't get tiny, small little steaks. You only get the top-notch USDA grass-fed Midwest beef, and it is, I'm not kidding you, it is thick. One steak is enough for 4 people. And it's the top grade. So these are the kind of steaks when you go to a restaurant, like $40 and $50 or more on the menu. And then the 8-ounce hamburgers that you get with these. Now you can get these in a package. Once we become, full partners here, you can get packages where you'll get 2 packages to choose from, and each come with USDA grass-fed, high-grade meat. But look at the size, look at the thickness of the burgers. I mean, these are not flimsy burgers. This is top-notch grass-fed, thick burgers, thicker than a Snickers, I like to say. So we're going to cook these up right now. We got all of our spices over here. We're ready to go. We're going to cook up some filet mignon. We're going to cook up some 8-ounce thick burgers, and we're going to see how this all tastes. But I can tell you this. My wife and I, we only get local meats and vegetables and fruits and things like that. And we were in love with this one company right here in Iowa until we had stuff from the Chicago Steak Company. So we're going to get into cooking this here.
Guys, check out chicagosteaks.com/LFATV. Actually, there's a great documentary for anybody who's a documentary nut like me about the Chicago stockyards way back when. Check that out. So we are awaiting 17 minutes from the top of the hour for the president's speech in front of Congress. I can't wait to see the shenanigans. I can't wait to see the protest. We are going to bring you the entire thing right here live, so make sure you keep it locked in wherever it is you may be watching. Of course, there were protests all over D.C. today in lieu in readiness for the Donald Trump speech. Here was some of it. I do think that this part of it is actually really funny. One of these idiots, for some reason, I don't know why, had a guillotine lined up for Trump and Elon Musk, but it wasn't a guillotine. It was some kind of paper mache, like plasterboard thing. Like, it kind of looked like, you know, when your kids had to do that science project in 7th grade, and no matter how good their grade was, it was still crappy? That's what it kind of looked like. Check this out. Oh, no. Wrong one. There it is.
We refuse to accept.
I mean, come on, guys. Really? With markers? Are you serious? Put a little bit of effort in, please.
A fascist America. Trump must go. 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 Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump.
Absolutely the loveliest people you can find out there. Sorry for the language. I know a lot of this is Jeremy's audience, so I want to make sure I keep it clean. Make sure I keep it clean for all of you. Of course, those were not the only protesters out and about today in Washington, D.C., and there's always protesters. We got to see Harry Sisson and his boyfriend, Chris Mowry. They were out and about at Capitol Hill today. I guess they're going to be there inside of the Capitol. I hope they get rowdy. I hope they get arrested. If they get tased, so be it. So be it. Things happen. What can you do? But there were also, let's go Lou. It's prime time with Kevin Smith. Absolutely it is. Prime time with Kevin Smith. I'm liking it. I am liking it a lot. But those weren't the only protests. About an hour ago, this from Alia Scootercaster over at freedomnews.tv, there were a large contingent of, before we get to that, check this out.
Elon Musk, the head of Doge, up in the gallery as well here. So this is shaping up to be quite a night. We're going to be showing you these live scenes throughout the course of the evening here. In the meantime, though, like I said, Austin Westfall joining me here.
Everybody is lining up in the gallery right now, so we should be with J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson in position already. They should be getting there relatively soon, so make sure you guys keep it locked in here, right here. Here were some of these Slava Ukraine protesters outside in Washington, D.C. today, waving their Ukrainian flags. The part of these protests that I always find so mystifying is how ready these people are with their flags of other countries. Whether it's Palestine, which isn't a country, or Ukraine, everybody seems to I've never seen a Ukrainian flag just flying on someone's house in the neighborhood, yet these people seem to have one on the ready.
Russia is a terrorist state. Russia is a terrorist state. Stand with Ukraine. Stand with Ukraine. Stand with Ukraine. Ukraine. Stand with 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 Ukraine.
All the Slava Ukraine people, of course. None of them with the audacity to actually go over there and help their beloved Ukraine. They would rather stand here under the breast of the comfortableness of the American First Amendment and complain. Sorry, not going to say naughty words. They would rather sit here and complain rather than go help the Ukrainians, because nothing says virtue like sending other people to die in a war that you believe in. Seems pretty standard for the Democratic Party. Seems fairly standard. Now, of course, Kenneth Cummings is watching. The guy who likes to talk crap about me. Hi, Ken. Good to see you. Good to see you. Guys, once again, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Share it out, share it out, share it out. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Before we do that, we got to pay some bills. So head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this show and everything we've got going on. If you guys are liking this Doge hat, you can pick it up over at loudmajorityusa.com. Pick it up right now. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors. Oh, yeah, giddy up. Let's go. Oh, yeah, and for all my St. Patrick's Day friends out there, you got to get the Kiss Me, I Voted for Trump shirt. This shirt, of course, has a make-out guarantee, where if you wear it on St. Patrick's Day, someone will guaranteed to approach you. So head on over to loudmajorityusa.com, sign up for the newsletter, check out our shop. That is the best way to support this show and the activism that we've got going on over here. Once again, we are waiting for the top of the hour. Here, everybody is filling in. Elon Musk is filling in. We just got to see Jasmine Crockett. Will she cause a scene? I'm sure she will. As George Santos calls her, the ghetto stiletto, which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Lindsey Graham just walked in, probably coming from some sort of bombing campaign, because we all know there's nothing Lindsey Graham loves more than bombing a third world country. Let me get a sip of some coffee, because we're going to be here all night with you guys. We're going to be here rocking and rolling all night with you guys. So once again, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Let's see. Let's get the live chat back up. Let's see how everybody is doing today. Let's see everybody. Let's see. Where is my live chat? Where is my live chat as people start to flow in? Ashley Garland, how long is the speech supposed to be? Well, judging by the rest of Donald Trump's speeches, we could be here all night. We could be here all night long. Let's be honest. It's not like Donald Trump ever gives what anyone would consider a short speech. He's never really done that before. Let's see. What do we got here? Bobby Driver, Bad Moon, as always. Deb Pollen, how are you? Very good. Jam, what's happening? Did your taxes today? Didn't turn out so good? That's something else Donald Trump is probably going to address in this speech, the economic message that he plans on putting forth. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security. 3 big campaign promises that Donald Trump has said will be implemented. And these are things that are going to impact the working class. And that's why it's so important. Look, I want to be clear. Will the new budget probably put some sort of thing in there for corporations that I'm not going to like? Some sort of taxpayer-funded thing for billionaires? No doubt. Of that, I have no doubt. The job creators. I am sure there will be something in there along those lines. However, I also think that there is going to be a whole bunch of stuff in there for regular people. For regular people. The no taxes on tips is going to be huge. The no taxes on Social Security going to help all of the senior citizens in this country. No tax on overtime. You want to talk about, I want to be clear. I don't know how many of you live in a union state like I do here in New York. You start cutting taxes on overtime pay, you're going to get stuff done a hell of a lot faster, a lot more efficient, and those union votes will go Republican for the next 2 generations. That is something I can absolutely promise you. That is something I can absolutely promise you. What is happening? Becca, how are you? Angel Fit, hello. Angel Fit, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to catch back up. Script says, I want to see some arrests tonight. That's probably not going to happen. I hate to break it to you. It's probably not going to happen as much as I would love to see it. Shout out to Cincinnati. Big shout out to Cincinnati because I'm a Met fan and I can't wait to play the Reds because you guys aren't very good. It's okay. Kevin is beast. More comments like that. More comments like that, and that'll make the day go an awful lot faster. Once again, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out. We got about 1,000 people in here. Let's see if we can get to 500 rumbles by the end of the day. Ivanka and Jared are there. I did not see Ivanka and Jared. They have been, they've been quite quiet. They've been quite quiet. Oh, Conservative Autumn's here. Got to make sure I give the shout out there. Once again, guys, we are awaiting President Trump to come into the chamber. At the moment, all the members of Congress seem to be flowing in at the moment. The chamber looks full. So we are going to await that any moment now. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything fun happening in the news over the course of the last several. Oh, that's another big one Donald Trump's probably going to announce, is the fact that the IRS is about to lay off half of its staff. Half of its staff. I'm liking it, and I'm liking it a lot. Everyone says, oh, now the IRS isn't going to be able to go after the millionaires and the billionaires, as Bernie Sanders loves to say. No, maybe they could just focus on them instead of auditing me because somebody sent me my fantasy football winnings on Venmo. Perhaps they could just go after that. Go after the millionaires. Go after the billionaires. See if I care. I don't really care at all. Many of them don't pay taxes. Although they pay taxes, they don't pay income taxes because it turns out when you're super wealthy, you figure out ways around it, which is why we should do away. Oh, who's coming in right now? Let's see.
Mr. Speaker, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
Oh. Apparently the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. I don't even know what the hell that means. I don't even know who those people are. But they're walking into the chamber right now. So we are beginning to get entries. At the moment, we are beginning to get entries to the chamber right now. We're going to bring that to you guys live. 1,000 people watching. What are we at? 240 rumbles? I think we could do better than that. I absolutely think we can. I never get to see Kevin's show live either. Well, that's upsetting. It's good to know a lot of you guys watch afterwards. I will say, I do appreciate that you guys watch the show afterwards. That means a lot to me. That really does mean a lot to me. Once again, awaiting President Trump on his way in. Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance yucking it up at the moment. Here that is, them just chuckling it up, having a good old time. First off, I can't wait to see the J.D. Vance faces that are coming in behind Donald Trump. Barry Maltese, you have grown into a true leader. Godspeed, Kevin. More comments like that. We want more comments like that. Very good stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Giddy up, let's go. Giddy up, let's go. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second. Before we do, Old Glory Bank.
When big banks decide who gets access to America's financial systems and who doesn't, who do you think gets left out? Middle Americans who proudly wave their pro-America values. Cancel culture in banking is corrosive. It limits your participation in a vibrant, free market economy. Fortunately, you can fight back. You now have the opportunity to invest in the bank that's investing in a fair American banking system, one based in freedom. Ownership in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank, is here. Old Glory Bank is a full-service FDIC-insured bank that's the alternative to overreaching, un-American big banks. We stand for privacy, security, and liberty. We stand for freedom, family, faith, and the flag. We stand for all the values you stand for, and for the values big banks can't stand. So help keep banking in the hands of Main Street, not Wall Street. To invest in Old Glory Bank, go to oldglorybank.com.
Guys, check out Old Glory Bank by going to oldglorybank.com. Consider signing up for one of their 3.5% interest rates on their CDs. I think every person should have some sort of CD coverage in their life. Right now, we are getting the arrival of the Supreme Court justices as they come in, led by Chief Justice Roberts. We'll see what kind of leader he can be moving forward in this cycle. Of course, there we've got Elena Kagan. Behind him, Justice Kavanaugh, with the hair still looking perfect. Amy Coney Barrett, she looks a little tired. Whatever, what are you going to do? She's had it rough. Alito. And no Ketanji Brown Jackson. No Ketanji Brown Jackson.
When big banks decide who gets access.
No Ketanji Brown. No Sotomayor. Of course, Justice Sotomayor is incredibly sick. She's very sick. We did not see Justice Thomas there. So the 5 Supreme Court justices have begun entering. That is usually what happens right before the boss comes in. We are once again awaiting this. We are coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. What to expect from tonight? Well, the speech is not technically a State of the Union, this from Fox News, because Trump was sworn in just weeks ago, although it serves the same purpose. The president will outline his domestic policy agenda and foreign policy for his second term. Democrats have elected freshman Alyssa Slotnick, Democrat of Michigan, to deliver the party's response to this. Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy said he is being told that Trump is not participating in any kind of formal speech prep where advisors would suggest ways for him to say things. Instead, the president has been involved in the editing process. It's not uncommon for Trump to refrain from formal preparation ahead of major events. When Trump prepared for the debate against Kamala Harris in September, blah, blah, blah. That's what we know. So it looks like President Trump will be laying out his foreign policy agenda. I assume we'll be getting some updates on the Ukraine and all what the hell's going on there. Because that's going to be a tough one. But we're going to keep it locked in here all day with you guys. Once again, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out as things begin to populate. I'd also like to say thank you to everybody tuning in. Late night with Kevin Smith. Prime time with Kevin Smith. I really should have my own late night show. What do you guys think? Also, once again, if it's your first time watching me, do let me. You guys like my Valentine's Day cup? It's holds a lot of coffee there. Holds a lot of coffee. Once again, thumbs up as we are awaiting President Trump. We are now at the 9 o'clock hour, so this should be any minute now. Mima Becky, I'm sorry, did I miss you? Did I miss all of my people? Ultra MAGA Warrior, first time here for your show. Well, I hope you stick around. Once again, guys, Kevin Smith, let's see. 11 CBP and 2 Texas NG are here in the Oh, yes, Arthur, how are you? Sorry, I should probably read the name first before I read the Rumble rant. Once again, guys, also, I do appreciate this so much so that we can keep the lights on over here. Your Rumble rants are always appreciated. If you guys want to get one of those trains started, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the network. Also, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. I'm sorry, LFATV.us. That's LFATV.us. That's the best way to support this network and everything we've got going on over here. That's how we keep all the lights on here at LFATV, by checking out Jeremy's store. And consider becoming a monthly donor here at LFA TV. That's how we keep the lights on here. This is user-generated content, and we can't do it. We can't do it without your help. Please stop texting me. It's coming up on the computer. Let's see here. Let's see, what do we got? Hey there, Kevin. Didn't get to watch your show too often, but I'm glad you're here tonight. B.A. Peters, thank you very much. We got another Rumble rant coming in from Bobo Scullin. Keep the lights on, bro. We got to keep the lights on over here. We got to keep, I'm getting smaller, but we still got to keep me fed. As we await President Trump to come in. For some reason, there is a woman, I don't know who this is, but she seems to be wearing some kind of a jacket that has some strange writing on it. Something about the 14th Amendment. I wonder if she has the actual 14th Amendment on it. I wonder if she's got the whole 14th Amendment or just certain parts of it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We got more people coming in. Here is the First Lady Melania Trump.
And I'll read a little bit more of what we heard from Axios, the Trump speech, including anti-Trump signs, egg cartons to highlight the current costs of eggs, as well as pocket constitutions as the First Lady enters the chamber to an applause.
Melania Trump looking stunning as all. I swear, when she walks into a room, when she walked in and her hair was flowing, like there was a fan or something. Like there was a fan of some kind. What do we got? We got more people coming in now?
The president's cabinet.
Oh, here comes the cabinet.
Secretary, can't wait to connect with you. We have so much to talk about. Yes.
Can I just say, look how angry this woman is on the right. Oh, is she upset. Here they all come. There's Bobby Kennedy shaking hands, kissing babies, doing what he does. Sean Duffy coming in. Howard Lutnick walking in. There's Kristi Noem. There's my friend Lee Zeldin. I got to be honest, my favorite member of the cabinet. If I'm being honest here, my favorite member of the cabinet. I'm not gonna hide that from anybody. Not gonna hide the ball on that one. So the cabinet beginning to make their way in. President Trump is I don't know. Is he really running late? I mean, it's his speech. He can kind of show up whatever the hell he wants. He can really show up whenever he wants. I'm going to take this time, guys. Once again, Arthur, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. Another Rumble rant from you. Choo choo, rocking that bullet train. Redneck 1776, thank you so much. B.A. Peters. Wow, that's really coming in now. Here we go. Giddy up. Kevin, love your show. Love LFA TV. You know what? Here we go. Can I do this real quick? Can I get the... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put those Rumble rants right up. R-Star, thank you so much. B.A. Peters, how are you? Very good. Thank you for being here. Redneck 1776, one of my regular viewers. Is Jeremy in the chat right now? Hey, Jeremy! What's happening? Arthur down in Texas, how are you? Looking good. Bob, thank you all so much. We really do appreciate all of your support. As always here, we're going to pop those Rumble rants up as they come along. Lee Zeldin, Great American. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend he's not my favorite. Everyone's got a you know how you all pretend you don't have a favorite child? I'm not going to pretend I don't have a favorite cabinet member. So once again, guys, hit the thumbs up button. We are awaiting President Trump any moment now as the cabinet is beginning to get seated. Let's see, who else do we got here? We got Kelly Loeffler. The head of the Small Business Admin. Bobby Kennedy. Let's throw it back to the floor real quick. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Boom, boom. Let's keep this going here. Kat, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your Rumble rants as always. I do appreciate that. We really do appreciate it here. Once again, guys, this is user-generated content, and we can't do it without your help. Just think, guys, 1,500 people watching this. If every single one of you took that URL and you put it on your X and you put it on your Facebook and you put it on all of your platforms, we'd have 20,000 people watching right now. So please, before the president speaks, do take that URL right at the very top, click copy, paste that to your Facebook, paste it to your to all of your platforms. What do you guys think of this? Check this out. What do you guys think here? Check out the Jack Daniels Donald Trump t-shirt. I gotta be honest, this is my new favorite one. This is my new favorite one. You guys can get that at loudmajorityusa.com as we await the president. As we await the president of the United States coming on in, coming down the mountain. So, what do you guys think the president's going to talk about tonight? We'll throw the live chat up on the screen. What are you hoping to hear from the president? What do you think you're going to hear from the president? What do you hope he focuses on? Which Democrat do you think will be the worst and the most annoying? Let's see. I'm curious to see what you guys think. While I get a sip here, Kevin Smith in prime time. Kevin Smith in prime time. I like it. Liking it a lot. Let's see. Yes, 2000 would be fantastic. 2000 would be fantastic. That would be great. He's getting us out of Trishy 110. If that happens, if he announces that we're leaving NATO, people are going to lose. Look, you're going to hear me yell from wherever it is you might be. Wherever it is in the nation you may be, you're going to hear me start yelling. Absolutely. First time watching from PA, L. Biddy. How are you? Love the great state of Pennsylvania. Love it, love it, love it. Very good stuff. What's with the red and blue tie on the speaker? I don't know. I just want to switch it up a little bit. I'm not going to look into the speaker's tie. That's a little much for me. That's a little much for me right there, if I'm being honest. Removing us from the UN. I guess there's some people in here who don't really like the current foreign policy of the United States. I can't say that I disagree. Getting rid of the IRS. Good yelling or bad yelling? Oh, it'll be good yelling. If Donald Trump goes out there and announces that we're getting out of NATO, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to freak out. I've been wanting that for quite some time, and hopefully now we'll be able to get it. Wilson, how are you? Rumble and share. We got 1,600 people watching live. Let's see. Donald Trump's going to be coming in any minute. I want Linda Mack to come out and declare a cage match between Vance and Zelensky. Well, now that would be something. That would be something if I do say so myself. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I like that. I like that a lot. Once again, guys, President Trump awaiting him any moment now. Let's throw it over to the chamber real quick.
How long this speech is going to last. And I should mention, too, that...
Yeah, everyone patiently awaiting Donald Trump's entry into the House chamber for his first joint session of Congress. Now, normally this wouldn't happen so soon. Normally, the State of the Union would be the first time the president addresses a joint session of Congress. However, given both the national security implications, the foreign policy implications, and a lot of domestic stuff that's been going on, I think it's a good idea that he is doing this. I think it's a good idea, a national platform. Now, look, I know you guys don't watch network news. I know you don't watch it, but many people still do. And I'd be willing to bet if you turned on CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, all of the BBC, Al Jazeera, everybody and their mother is going to be showing this tonight, so it's really giving the president an opportunity to speak not only to the country but to the world about what all is going on. Every network's going to cover it. And yeah, they're going to have their spin afterwards, but the more the people see of the Democrats, the less people like them. The more they see of them, the less people like them. So you know what? I hope that the Democrats put on a calamity. I hope they do. Debbie, thank you so much for the $20 Rumble rant. Thank you so much. I hope Democrats do put on some kind of a spectacle. They would be silly to put on a spectacle, but they're going to do it. Creative One says, do you think we will ever get the mainstream media back from the clutches of the socialists? No, I don't think so. And I don't think we need them anymore. I think that the mainstream media is a vestige of the past. is a vestige of the past. And we don't need them anymore. We have our own distributions. We have our own way of getting the information out there. We have T. Mitchell, love LFA. Thank you so. Oh, here we go.
Now you're about to listen to the Sergeant at Arms there, and here we go.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States, members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. 6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. We know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby. Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going, and it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families. And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it. With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was, and so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them. Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it. And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash. They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and I will never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly, socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you. Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets. Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria, they died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it, he got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown. That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the
Today, every business needs a website.
In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said, at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight. To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you. To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk, to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Great honor. Thank
you. I forgot even to pull the damn mic down. Wow, that was... Wow. Wow. You know, for somebody who talks for a living, I don't know. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What did you guys think about that? That was absolutely out of control. Keel Sully, I want to thank you very much for your $200 Rumble rant. Thank you. That's out of control. Thank you so much for that. You know, guys, I got to be honest with you. The first 20 minutes or so, I started taking notes. But it got to be so amazing. There's no point in having those anymore. From the seething of Democrats the entire time to the vision for America, I think you're going to be hard pressed. You're going to be hard pressed to find a speech in American history that was better than that one. Wow. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. Donald Trump hit them on everything. He hit them on not standing up for Jonathan Diller's wife or for Laken Riley's family or Jocelyn Ngari's family. He was funny. He had a good time. He called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas in front of the entire chamber. That was hilarious. Actually, you know what? Let me get my notes because I was a little dramatic there. I mean, out of control. Freeze on foreign aid. Leaving the Paris Climate Accord. Al Green being genuinely awful, as always. That was unbelievable. That was one of the best speeches I have ever seen in my entire life. We're gonna rock and roll for a little bit. I'm curious as to what you guys think in the chat. Like I said, and look, for those of you who watch my show 1 p.m. every day, stay tuned tomorrow for the full recap. I'll have all the clips queued up. But for those of you who watch my show, you guys know I talk a lot. You guys know I talk a lot about the other side and breaking through to the other side. And finding the new voters. I want to be clear about something. What made tonight so great? Every network ran that. I was checking during it. CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC ran the entire thing. They got to see their Democrats not cheer on no tax on tips. They got to see their Democrats not stand up for a little boy who had brain cancer who's now a member of the Secret Service. They got to see their Democrats scoff at a young man who's about to go to West Point. They got to see the real Democratic Party there. Not the Republican Party through the filter of Rachel Maddow or David Muir or that midget George Stephanopoulos. They got to see what Donald Trump is going to do. No tax on overtime. No tax on tips. The real stuff. That was unbelievable. That was unfreaking believable. I gotta be honest with you, man. Not that there's anything that could get me. No, pretty much nothing. Not that there's many things that could get me to be upset with Donald Trump, but I want to make something very clear. I have never been more proud to have spent the last 4.5 years working for the America First agenda. Working for President Trump's agenda. Working to change this Republican Party for the better. I have never been more proud. And if you guys watch my show, you guys know I talk a lot about getting involved. What can you do? How many voters are you registering? What are you doing? Because if you wait for someone else to come save you, no one's coming. Politics is not a spectator sport. It is a participation sport. So what are you doing? If tonight did not motivate you to give up a weekend, to volunteer, whether it's on a school board or the president, right the way up. Many of you are dealing with local elections where you live right now. What are you willing to do? Tomorrow's show is going to be a lot of fun. Guys, it's 11:06 on the East Coast. We all got work tomorrow. My name is Kevin Smith. I host the 1 p.m. Eastern hour right after Jeremy's show here on LFA TV. Make sure you guys are following this page. Make sure you're following all the pages wherever it is you may be watching. I tell you what, man. I was damn proud to be an American tonight. I was damn proud to be an American. Guys, before we check out for the evening, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's the best way to support this network and everything we've got going on over here. We can keep the lights on. If you'd like to support my movement over at The Loud Majority, if you like this Doge hat, go and pick one up at loudmajorityusa.com. That's the best way to support the movement, The Loud Majority. I thank you all so much. If you go to loudmajorityusa.com, you can use promo code LFA to get 20% off. For all the new viewers, for all the people here watching tonight who are unfamiliar with me, guys, once again, 1 p.m. tomorrow. 1 p.m. tomorrow. I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait. Guys, yeah. I won't be going to bed anytime soon. If you're on X, make sure you give me a follow, Kevin_Smith45. I'm going to be in a Twitter space. Brian Brennan on Facebook says, go to sleep. You're talking to yourself. This is embarrassing. Actually, I've got 30,000 people watching on Rumble right now. So, Brian, go have fun with, I don't know, go work on your transition. But, guys, hit the thumbs up button on the way out the door. We're almost at 700 Rumbles. I'm liking that. I'm liking it a lot. Guys, I'll be in a Twitter space for the rest of the night. I'm not going to bed anytime soon. I know you guys aren't tomorrow. I know most of you won't either. So head on over to X. Follow LFA TV. Follow me, Kevin_Smith45 over on X. Guys, I'm going to catch you all back live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you all so much. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.